What's up, guys? Eric here with MajorLeagueTrading.com, and I wanted to do a Sunday night video here, kind of breaking down a couple things I see coming up for this week. So it is going to be a short week. Today is Monday, so I said Sunday, but it's really a Monday. But markets were closed today, and tomorrow will technically be Monday for us, but it'll actually be Tuesday. Anyways, we're looking at a short week here, and typically what ends up happening with that is people get a little bit antsy. They haven't been able to trade for the past few days. It was a long weekend, and they're just going to come out guns a-blazing on Monday morning, technically Tuesday morning, and that's not what we want to do here. So I wanted to go ahead and put a game plan together here, kind of going throughout the week, and I really think Wednesday and Thursday will be some really nice action here. I think there's a little bit of a pattern kind of setting up in the markets. We've got some earnings to take a look at as well, and then kind of roll from there. So the big thing in which I'm watching currently in this market is just this weekly chart is at the point where we may want to break down here and kind of get that move back down here towards these 3400s area. Which is a pretty decent move. You know, it's 600-700 points from where we're currently trading at. That would mean new lows, all of those things, right? Now, is it going to be in a straight line all the way down there? No. Is it going to take some time? If it does want to do that, yes. But we're kind of at that point where, okay, if not, maybe we can get a pullback here towards like the 4,000 area. I'm watching 39.76 quarters in here as a level that I have in place. And for the past little bit, we've had 41.88s in here up to the top side. That's held us almost to the tick. 41.88 quarters printed not last week, but week prior. And then to the downside was 40.6350s. Now it's 40.62s. And if we turn the extended session on here, and let's just switch it up to a daily chart real quick, you can see we did in fact come down and test that level on Friday. Nice little push back up. We had come down and tested that level one other time, and then we had also tested that level once again here. So it's traded twice now, essentially in pre-market hours, and then also in regular trading hours now on Friday. So what I'm going to be looking for here is if we can break under that 40.62s, then I think we have a really good shot at 39.76 quarters below. So that's my first kind of area in which that needs to break, and then where I would be expecting us to go from there, which is 39.76 quarters. Now, if we break down beneath this, and then we essentially get a failure to go lower, where we just get a couple points, under 40.55.75s, which was Friday's lows there, and we kind of get, 40.50s, 40.55, or 40.45s, and then can rally back up through that level, then I'm going to be like, okay, the possibility of us rallying up here to 41.41s is actually pretty good. So right now, we're kind of stuck in that area. We're 10 or 15 points away from the level in which I want to see us either break or break below and hold. And then from there, we realistically have 90 points to the downside and about 80 points to the upside. So I don't think there's any advantage to stepping in right now. I want to go ahead and let us prove that level first and then make decisions from there. Pretty much same thing is true across the board here in the Russell, the NASDAQ, the Dow, all of those as well. And in terms of some news events that could kind of shake us up here for the week, I was looking through, obviously today being a bank holiday here. We've got really nothing going on. Tuesday we got some flash services, but overall it's just a pretty quiet week. FOMC meeting minutes, we already kind of know what those are. A little bit of 8:30 news announcement on Thursday there, and a little bit here on Friday as well with the CPI or the core PCI price index. So we didn't have a ton coming up this week, but we did have a lot of things last week that gave us some pretty decent movers. So it's really going to be interesting to see if market can fall apart this week with potentially no real news. And that is likely going to come when it does come from earnings. So with that, what I'm watching, I don't know why these are showing as Monday after the close. That's I don't think any of these actually reported. But coming into tomorrow, we got a couple things. We got Walmart, Home Depot, and then in the after hours, we've got Coinbase and PANW, Palo Alto Network. So this one's actually really thin to trade, but it can be really, really nice. Stepping in Wednesday morning, we're also going to have Baidu to look at, Wingstop, TJX, and Fiverr. Overstock is sometimes a fun one to play as well. And then we get two of kind of my favorites of the week, if you will be NVIDIA after hours on Wednesday, and then BABA in the morning on Thursday. So we could see a little bit of sympathy here in something like HD carry over into Lowe's. We could see Walmart have some sympathy over into Target. We could see Baidu and BABA playing against each other as well there. So it'll be really interesting to see. But if we take a look here, kind of, first impressions of a game plan here in Walmart, really, really hard move down. This was the last earnings cycle. Forget this tail in here because that was that weird broker or exchange issue when it went down. But essentially, we went from $160 to $120 here in Walmart this time last year. I mean, this was a really big bar, 32-point bar to the downside in Walmart, and it's all right here in this gap down here in the bottom right corner. So this was the earnings from a year ago. We're kind of coming back into that same point. Market's basically at the same price. So we do have some really good potential here for us to move in a pretty big way. So again, like I said, I think that overall, those are going to be the better things to play this week. I am anticipating that market does initially try and kind of fail to go lower and fake some people in and then rally back a little bit. If that is the case, then what I'm going to be looking at is something like Walmart, if it does perform well, and we get some sympathy in TGT here. So TGT, again, this isn't all the way back at the same price. It's got room to $210 up towards this gap area, right? So if Walmart does well, I'm going to look for some sympathy there, carry over into Target. Taking a look here at Home Depot. Again, we've got Home Depot versus Lowe's essentially at this point. Home Depot going relatively sideways here, weekly chart across the board, all the things. So nothing really striking my interest here out of Home Depot or Lowe's at the moment. Coinbase, this one, realistically, I don't want to see this move lower. If we could get this to make a move lower here, then I think that is the better bet. Otherwise, somewhere up over kind of $87, I think is going to be where we can really start to play this, maybe back up towards 100 in Coinbase here. But realistically, I'd prefer to see it under 55. It's a smaller move. 65 to 87 is 22. 65 to 55 is only a $10 move to the downside. And I think it's got a lot more room to go if that is the case that it decides to move. Again, all of these are completely up in the air, just looking at overall plans for the earnings coming up. But Baidu here, Baidu realistically, I'd like to see it to the downside as well. I think that is the easier, least resistance path in there at the moment. And same thing in BABA. BABA, that would make more sense if we could get the move lower in here, maybe down towards like $82 would be kind of a interesting spot, $85 in there. So Baidu BABA would prefer to the downside here. Long sides are tough unless we're up over like 110s. And taking a look at NVIDIA, this one we actually had a short trade on Friday. We took some lottos right up here around 215.07s, looking for 210 to 209.24s right there. Ended up low of the day, 209.75, so kind of right in the middle of that zone. But again, I took some lottos down here looking for a move all the way to 200, and we couldn't quite get that move. So earnings in here are going to be really, really interesting. I would personally prefer in here if we could get depending upon market timing in here, I would personally prefer a small gap to the upside that fails and does something similar to Dash from Friday here. It's a little bit of a different daily picture here, but this Dash failure on Friday is kind of something similar to what I would like to see out of NVIDIA this week. as opposed to a gap that runs. I just think it would make the charts look a little bit better in there. So anyways, that's what I got for tonight's Sunday, Monday video. And yeah, so hit the like button, do all the fun things, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.